This episode is brought to you by the Founders Club, the premier community for founders pursuing excellence in the mind, body, and of course, business. The club is home to over 750 founders who are actively building stronger companies and better lives together. Through curated masterminds, destination retreats, and private events, members gain access to world-class insights, connections, and experiences designed to help them perform at the highest level. So the average founder in the club is doing between $5 and $50 million a year in revenue. So if you're ready to surround yourself with like-minded entrepreneurs who push you to grow and excel in every area of life, visit foundersclubofficial.com and apply to become a member today. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Oleg Lee, the new Boca transplant, here with us on the podcast. Oleg, welcome, brother.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I think it was funny because although Oleg is a great community member, we met, you didn't even know this, for like a moment. It was really quickly in Minneapolis, 2021, the first VCon. I remember you did all the pillows.
Yep.
And it was unbelievable. These huge, like life-size pillows, which I'm sure we'll get into today. But before we get into the business, before we go all the way down and how you've built this incredible company and what's going to come next, I love to kind of pull back the onion, pull back the curtain. And why don't you tell us kind of where entrepreneurship, like where this hustle, this grind started for you?
You know, people always say like, how do you become an entrepreneur? And I'm like, I don't think you become. I think you need to realize that you're the one. And that's what happened to me at some point. The way I think how you realize you're an entrepreneur, it's when you learn that you're actually making a lot of decisions. So like decision to move to USA, decision to move to this, decision to do this. So you've been an entrepreneur all your life, you just don't know it yet. You're either entrepreneur or you're not, I think, in my opinion. And so there's a process realizing that I was the one, you know, just making more and more decisions, taking action, taking risks. I didn't even know what entrepreneurship is until I had my first business. And I'm like, oh, that's what it is. I've been doing it all my life. I guess that's who I am. You know, it's funny.
So when you say like all my life, you know, you were born in Russia, moved to Israel, and eventually came to the US.
Yeah.
Was there a moment like in your youth, you know, and like for myself, it was like, you know, I was selling shoes and in elementary school and window cleaning. I also didn't know it was entrepreneurship, but this idea of like making something for myself. Was there a moment in your youth when now you think back that really started to shape the foundation of building businesses?
Yeah, you know, I was, when we immigrated to Israel, I was 11 years old. You know, I took a year to learn the language and stuff like that. I dropped school when I was middle school. And I dropped because I just couldn't sit in one place.
Wow.
Couldn't stay steady.
The
and
entrepreneur ADD.
I had all these ideas and I went straight to work. You know, I worked at so many different jobs, like you name it, from like bakeries and everything possible. Because I love the process of learning and watching and exploring, you know. And that's where I gain a lot of knowledge. And that what I would say that helped me to build my business today is all these experiences in my life. From construction, like I've been working in archaeological, or you know, like when you
just do whatever it takes, to make money.
Yes,
yeah, that's really powerful. I remember seeing a story that you started your pillow business, which we'll get into, which has been just one of the coolest businesses ever. But it all started for you in your dad's garage. Talk to me about that, because you know, so many people start businesses in the most random ways. You know, like I was juicing in my mom's basement, but I never knew what would come from it. Why did you start in your dad's garage? And what was that first point where you're like, wait a second, I have something here?
Yeah. So my father, he worked at the local printing shop and they used to make pillows, just banners and pillows, just one of the products. I lost my childhood dog and I miss it a lot. So first I asked him to make me a pillow and he made me a square pillow of it. And it was just cute. It was just sitting there. And I don't know, one day I looked at it and I said, can you actually make a shape, you know, of the dog? He's like, yeah, I think so. He made it, you know, we placed it and I looked at it, I'm like, damn, it looks like just like the dog sitting there. It was crazy. So I posted on social media and everybody just like, oh my God, this is a lifelike. That was my first brand name, the lifelike pillow. because everybody's just so lifelike.
Mm.
And everybody's like, I want one. I went to GoDaddy, created my first website myself, created the upload, everything, just
How
figured
old
it
were you
out.
at the time?
35, 36.
Wow. And
Yeah.
what were you doing like up until that point though?
I was working in construction.
You're just grinding it out
Yeah.
every day and living. You were in Chicago at this point?
Yes, I was doing a lot of carpentry work, like wood flooring and
Incredible.
stuff. And so orders start coming in. My father, we start buying from the printing shop. So we'll buy the print, we'll go back to his garage and we'll make them ourselves, and we'll ship them until it became like hundreds and then thousands of pillows. Now we're like in 20,000 square feet operation with like 40 people. My father is at this point, he's not, as actively working anymore, just helping.
Yeah.
But it's been a journey, man.
That's
It just happened.
That's just incredible. So I want to like just double click into this moment because a big thing that I've realized over the years, just by speaking to so many incredible founders, was there's two real key points when it comes to realizing your business and then realizing the potential behind it. And there's always a moment in the beginning where you realize like this is real. And that moment is so special because some actually skip it. They don't realize it and it doesn't amount to anything. But some really capture
it's the demand, right? The amount of people asking for it and like ability for us to produce only few, right? How do we grow? And then we hire first employee, then we get our first place.
But how did people hear about it the first time? Were
just
you
social
advertising?
media.
Wow.
Just social media, yeah.
And then next thing you know, the orders are coming in on your website.
Yeah, it's all custom. So people go upload the picture and then, we create it the next day.
How do you create this? How do you do the process? Are you like sketching it out?
So it's the process. We have a team of artists now. Every photo needs to be cropped, sized, fixed. So it goes into design team. It stays there for like 24 hours, making sure, all the pictures are ready. Then it hits the production. Then it goes through 8-step process: printing, heat transferring, cutting, sewing, stuffing, closing, shipping, packing, shipping. All this we do in-house in our factory in Chicago. A to Z, man.
That's unbelievable. And, the next stage is always there's a moment where your business goes parabolic, where it's growing, and then it's just boom. What was that moment for you guys where everything just seemed to change?
Doubling down on meta ads. I think that's when we start running ads. And then we just got more. Our product is very impulse buy. People, even until I make custom pillows, people don't really realize it's people ask me, oh, you're that pillow guy, so are your pillows comfortable? I'm like, well, not that kind of pillows, but I have to show you. And once they see it, like, oh, that's cool, I want one. So it's very impulse buy. And once we start running meta ads and showing into your face, it's like, this is cool, I want it.
And it's like a gift, right? So I'm sure
it's a gift. It's 80% gift.
Valentine's Day, birthday, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas.
Yes, all of this. Yes.
All of the holidays.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that Groupon played a big role.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot about this. Yes. I can tell you a quick story. We went to Groupon. So what we did, we picked top 10 breeds and we went to Groupon. We couldn't do custom with Groupon.
Top 10 dog breeds.
Top 10 dog breeds. Yep. So it was like a pug, a Labrador, and like Frenchie. And we went to Groupon and we said, you know what? We have unlimited inventory. We can say, because we're making them, right? They offered the deal and we sold like 20,000+ of them.
In what time frame?
It's just 2 days.
You sold 20,000 pillows.
It just goes live. They send it to all the emails and it just boom.
20,000
5,000 of this, 4,000 of this, 3,000 of this. I'm like, damn. How do
you
we
have
make
the capacity to produce?
Not at all, man.
So what did you do?
All the family, every single person in my father's car garage. We went to every single Walmart.
You were still in the garage?
Still in the garage. Yeah. That was early, actually. That was very, very early.
Yes. Okay.
That was before the custom. We did the custom switch later because with all the exposure, people started asking more for custom. Because like, cool, but I want my dog. I love this pug, but it doesn't look like my pug. I want a little bit different. This is where we introduced the custom. I completely forgot about this.
This is so important. And shout out to Ned. This is a very important point. You're in the garage. And did this opportunity with Groupon just come, or did you have the idea to be like, wait a second?
I was aware of Groupon and I had some relationship with one of the people there. And I reached out. I said, hey, we have this product. They liked the idea. They created the deal. It's basically, hey, what are you offering for? What's the availability? What's the inventory? unlimited. They love the unlimited part because, they can make a lot of money.
And that wasn't true.
It wasn't true. Of course, it wasn't true.
Definitely limited.
It was very
to the
limited.
garage production.
Well, we didn't expect to sell that many. We thought we were going to sell like few hundreds.
Yeah.
But we went every single Walmart store. So we buy the prints from the local store, local like printing shop.
And what did they say when you said, hey, by the way, we need 20,000?
It was crazy, man.
Wow.
I would say they were a little jealous that we, because they didn't like the fact that, we used to buy from them and then we basically transitioned to our own production. Every single Walmart, we bought all the fiber from every single store.
To fill the pillows.
To stuff the pillows. We're stuffing them by hands.
Oh.
Like the entire family, my wife's family, like you name it.
Everyone's getting a little bit of a different stuffing. Some people get a little bit more, some people less.
The stuffing was the hardest part, basically.
Of course, yeah.
Now we got machines and it's efficient.
Yeah.
But it was crazy.
Wow.
That's how we knew the demand of the shape pillow is high, but the higher demand were for the custom shape pillow.
So just so the people listening can follow here. So, and correct me if I'm wrong. The idea is the business started with predetermined shapes.
Mm-hmm.
And that made life a little bit easier because you can order, 1,000 of these, 500 of these, and they would come. The next evolution of it was realizing that people wanted unique shapes. What had to change for the business at that point once you said, wow, people want this new iteration, but it does come with more difficulties from a production standpoint?
Well, in the beginning, we did a lot of so because of the Groupon, we went to other marketplaces and we start selling there, like the stock designs. So a lot of our business was basically, we call like a wholesale B2B because it was a wholesale price and they retail for whatever they want. And slowly we started introducing the custom shape pillow on our own website. So I would say 80% of our business was wholesale business, marketplaces.
So you would have probably 80% of your business was relatively low margin, 20% online, high margin.
But then I saw the margin on online. I'm like, damn, I want more of this. And this is where we start running ads.
Yes.
How do we get more? How do we reach people? We start running ads. Now our wholesale is 20%. And our, direct is 80%.
So you mentioned your father and working together and, over the years, working a little bit less. When you think about your relationship with your father and how it played into your business, how important was that relationship to you? And how did it play a role in the success, specifically in the early days? Now life's a little bit different, but those early days, talk a little bit about how that relationship shaped you.
It's hard. It's pros and cons. The good thing, he really supported me. Like we were not making any money. And when we started, it was hard, and like all these challenges, but he was always there. My mom, like, hey, you guys both should go find a job. And we're like, no. And he never doubted me. He was always there, but he was also couldn't separate the business and being a father, right? We'll fight a lot. He wouldn't listen because I wouldn't say he has the entrepreneurial or marketing experience and knowledge. He knew how to, work with hands and make the pillows. So there was a lot of fighting, a lot. But I still grateful to him, he supported me all the time. Now, when he's less involved, we have a better relationship.
You can be more dad, less business partner.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people listening work with family. I, still work with family in my juice business back in Toronto. And in the early days when we were the only employees, it was the most difficult because we were family, we were business partners and founders, and we were also the staff. We were doing everything. And arguably, some of the most difficult times in my entire life was those moments in the beginning when we were doing everything. Yeah. Because everyone's got an idea on how they should do it. And who's right, who's wrong, doesn't matter. It just weigh on the relationship. If someone's listening to this right now, working with family, is there something that you would say to them that you learned that maybe you wish you did a little bit differently in those early days if you could?
I actually worked with my wife for 10 years. I don't know if you're aware of that, but my wife joined me at some point and it was the best thing that happened. We married for 20 years and at some point, I think 10 years, after 10 years, the relationship was kind of going downhill. She's working in her place, I'm doing my thing. So we just, there's disconnect. Like we come home, we don't really communicate because I don't care about what she's doing. She doesn't care about what I'm doing. And then she's joined, when we started the business, she's joined the business. And that just changed everything. Now we have the common goal. Now we have common, ideas. The only thing we talk, we actually will go family dinners, like me, my father, and my wife, we only talk about the business. And everybody will hate on us, like, can you guys just stop? And we're like, well, that's all we care about. So it made the relationship much stronger. And that was the best thing happened to the business, is having somebody involved that actually you can trust. And also what I learned is when you find common goals with your significant one, it helps the relationship. It improves it as well. So I'm all for it, working with the family, just finding the way to do it. So for example, we fight home. We knew how to separate. We'll fight home. We don't talk. We go to office. We share the desk for years. We have a huge desk, and her computer, my computer. We'll do the work. We'll communicate. We'll get done. We'll finish. We don't talk. It could go for a week.
Wow.
We talk at work. We don't talk at home. And that's what my father couldn't understand and separate. I'm like, hey, you're my dad home. Here, we have a goal. We have to get the job done. He couldn't make that switch.
So when you say that, you're saying something that's working for you is when you're at work, you talk about work. And when you're at home, you're not talking about work.
Yeah, supposed to.
But that's hard, huh?
It's hard. if that's all you care about, how can you not talk about it? But that's been a challenge for the other family. They didn't like it.
What's up, Founder to Founder fam? I just want to quickly pause here and thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of this journey. Starting a podcast is no joke. And the fact that hundreds of you listen every single week means the world to us. We want to continue to bring better and different and unique conversations to you to give you the most amount of value. Our only ask is that if you enjoy the pod, to please just share it with a friend. And most importantly, leave a comment, DM us, give us any sort of feedback. This entire production is for you. So if we can make it just 1% better, we will. We love you all. All right, let's get back into the pod. You've been in this business for how long now?
The pillow business specifically, it's like 6 years. 6 years. But I've been doing things for a long time. For a long time, yeah.
So you're 6 years in and the business continues to grow from no longer in the garage. Now you have a facility, you have a proper team and infrastructure to support this growth. And the most interesting thing I find is there's always a point in the journey where you kind of have to, in a way, get remarried to the business and recommit to what you want it to be and where you see it going. What is the end goal, do you feel, for that pillow guy?
Well, definitely want to sell the business.
You want to sell?
Yeah, of course. I don't want to do it all my life. I mean, there's pros and cons with the on-demand manufacturing. I mean, we have inventory. We make pills, the next day. But dealing with on-demand manufacturing, it's still tough because you depend on the people. And for us, based in Chicago, the busiest season is the coldest season. And 80 or 90% of our team is females. They get sick, the kids get sick, they don't show up. It fucks the production big time.
Wow.
It's challenging. My goal was always not to be involved in business, basically make sure business can operate without my involvement as much as possible. But end of the day, when everybody goes home and go to sleep, I still carry all the, stress, right? I love marketing. I love being that pillow guy. I don't like dealing with production anymore. That's why, I definitely want to sell the business down the line. Also, I have a lot of other ideas that I want to do.
You're the entrepreneur.
Yeah, I learned so many things. So
what is one thing you would do differently if you can do it all over again?
I wouldn't do manufacturing. I wouldn't focus on production. I'll definitely focus on higher OV products and lighter weight products. There's whole formula.
Yeah. But
definitely product. That will be the...
Yeah, it's so interesting to me because you're such a practitioner. You're such an amazing... you love the game. You love the art. You mentioned...
Love the process.
Yeah, you mentioned high OV products and, when I hear that, I'm just like, yeah, that's what works today. But back when I first started, it was low AOV products, and now it's high AOV products because cost to acquire customer is too high.
It's very high now.
Because that's going up, you need margins, and margin exists in higher dollar products, not necessarily higher margin products. And now then it's going to be subscription. It's like a loop, and then it'll come back down, and it goes over and over. Yeah, it never ends. What's LTV going to be? Can we spend into that? which is why I never get into
product anymore.
no, I never get into the nitty gritty of what makes a business work. You know, and some people actually say that to me. They say, you know, why don't you ask people what their ad stack is or what their funnel looks like? And
it's complicated
and
to explain.
And I don't care. And the reason I don't care is because it's the easiest thing to solve.
Mm-hmm.
The easiest thing to solve in any business is running the business.
Mm-hmm.
The hardest thing to solve, and is the main reason why we started this podcast, and which is why I'm loving this story and this transgression that you're creating, is because the hardest thing to solve is the human. The hardest thing to solve is what makes you happy. The hardest thing to solve is to understand how the relationship with your father and how it's connected to your business. And the hardest thing to solve is how meaningful. And, you know, I would love to, you know, create a timeline of your relationship with your wife and peg like the moment where she entered your business and what that looked like from like a sales perspective. And I would bet life savings that there's a linear trajectory between the business and your relationship on how they go together. And that's what I love, because that's what founders never talk about. We always talk about, okay, what's on your balance sheet? How much are,
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what's so special here. At VCon, I remember people were stealing the pillows.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about how that came about. You know, you did all the VFriend pillows at VCon.
So we decorated the entire event. I think it was like 400, 500 pillows. And we also brought maybe 600-700 pillows to sell.
Wow.
And we sold them out in like, it was supposed to be a 3-day event. We sold them in, I think like 3 or 4 hours.
Wow.
And we're just sitting there. But then because we're selling the pillows and people saw the decoration, the second day, not a single pillow was left on the floor.
Wow.
Every single pillow was taken, which is weird. Like you don't go to places and take like plants, right?
So they just stole the pillows?
Stole every single pillow.
Oh my God.
Which is a good thing. They love the pillows, but then like, why would you go and just grab something that's part of the decor? And it was crazy. They all knew, the team, Gary Vee, I told them like, listen, all the pillows are gone, but we all kind of were happy about it.
Wow.
That means people love them, you know?
You mentioned once that you really emphasize making the people on your team feel a certain way. I think it was something around making them feel safe and supported.
Team is everything.
Where does that come from for you? What is one thing that you really put forward to make sure that your team does feel safe and supported?
You know, working in many different places, being employed by different people, I learned the difference. Good employers, bad employers. I know when my employer cared about me, I did everything for him. When my employer didn't care about me, I, did nothing. I wouldn't pick up, like if I dropped something, I wouldn't care. I'll treat it the way I was treated. So when I was building a team, I always knew, people is the most important thing. And I always take care of my people in any possible way. Sometimes I'm probably being too much and too open, which I've been told, you have to separate, you get into personal with people. I'm like, but because that's how I am. I never like I don't like being called a boss. Like I'm not a boss, I'm just part of your team. Yeah, you can call me team leader. I'm fine with that. Don't call me boss. I don't like managing people. I like working with people.
What's the difference to you? What does that mean?
I like being part of the team, part of the projects. I don't like, creating the project, keep people accountable and, all that stuff and checking the reports. I hate that stuff. That's why I hired the CEO who's doing it for me. But I like being involved, hands-on,
It's so incredible. Like to have the humility and the ability to look yourself in the mirror and be like, you know what? I don't want to do that. This is what I want to do. This is where I want to sit.
I don't like numbers, man. I hate numbers.
Really?
Yeah, I hate numbers.
Why?
They're very important. I understand them. But I trust somebody to do them for me and I'll review them. I'm a high school dropout. I didn't make it to middle school, man. Yeah. What do I know about numbers and stuff? Right? It's not common to me, all that stuff.
It's so incredible. I always find that there's an emotion that we're chasing in the business. And for a lot of founders, and I was like this literally until the year of my acquisition, when I had so many auditors in my office from PwC. And I will happily say, I hate PwC. If you're from PwC and you see this, I hate you. I don't hate anybody. I hate PwC.
I don't hate you yet.
I hate let's clip this. I hate PwC. And they were in my office every single day for months, counting boxes and reviewing sheets and asking. And I was like, I hate it. I hate it. And I had to learn. I had no choice because I had to have an answer. I got a question, I got to answer. And they got 100 questions.
Yeah, you got to know everything.
And what I started to learn about myself was that I'm actually not bad at it. And probably you're not bad at it either. I didn't graduate grade 9, okay? So I wasn't bad. This is before GPT. Now it's so much easier. You put it into GPT, ask you questions, whatever. But back then it wasn't. And what I realized is that most founders, and I'm curious if this is true for you, there's an emotion connected to the numbers. And sometimes we don't want to look at something because we don't want to have to feel it right now. And
if things are going bad or good?
When things are going good, you always know.
Yeah.
There's an energy. Things just feel good.
So I know what you're saying. No, I didn't have that issue. I'll be honest with you. I love the process. I enjoyed the process in general. So sometimes I don't even know how much money I have in the bank. I had no idea. I never cared about money. I never did this business for money, but I did care about my freedom of time and choice, spending with my family, which comes with having the money.
Right.
But people come to me like, ask for raise, sure. Bonuses, sure. Never negotiated with people. I never cared about money. Anybody who worked with me, they know that. They always got what they wanted because money was never the first thing for me.
What was the first thing for you?
I just love the process. I enjoyed doing something. My dream was always to create something and be able to sell it. So, first I started doing, because I was handy, I started building beds and started selling them on Craigslist. I sold 2 of them. But it was my goal, to create something able to sell was like a fun process. And then creating the product that you sell, I think we sold so far 2.6 million pills nationwide. And that's
incredible.
That's what I'm excited about. It's just, but I know what you say. I know what you mean when you you want to ignore the things that are going down. I don't know. I never worried about things.
Why not?
Because I know I can figure out anything. It's all about, you need to understand your skill. My skill is problem solving. And I know any problem can be solved. Any problem can be solved.
Where did you learn that mindset?
That's just from a life experience.
Yeah.
Growing up in Israel, at the worst neighborhood.
Yeah,
in Beersheba,
Shout out Beersheba.
It's a survival mode, man, every day.
The pestle, right in the middle. Everyone meets to the top. There's a soccer court down. My cousin used to live there. I went there when I was 13. It was fun.
It's tough. It's tough life there,
Yeah.
And when we immigrated, we're bullied a lot because we're Russians, in Israel, and they don't like them.
Nope.
But I learned it. I don't know.
It's so incredible how the lessons we learn in our youth really shape the lens and the window we look out of for the rest of our lives. And to have the perspective that regardless of what problem is coming my way, I can solve it. You mentioned
you can be delusional, but you need to be confident, So it's you can be delusional, things are going to work out and you're doing nothing. I just know I'll find the action I'm going to take to figure this out. It's not just I'm going to sit down and wait for something to happen.
I want to challenge you on one thing.
Sure.
If you let me. Your mindset is so similar to the mindset that I grew up with in my family. Both my parents are Israeli as well. And the mindset is I can figure it out. And it's an amazing mindset that I actually have myself. But sometimes it has us doing things that we probably shouldn't be doing. And I'm going to take a guess, okay? Because we have a manufacturing facility. We do juices, vegetables, whatever. And there's machines. And when those machines break,
I fix them.
I knew it. I knew he was going to say it. I knew he was going to say it. Why? Why do you fix it?
Because it's so easy.
For you.
Dude, it's just you go and you reverse the problem and you find the solution. You know how many times it broke and I'm thinking somebody else would just call a company. And if I'm not there,
charge me $1,000.
Forget about charging. It's in 3 days, we're going to show up and try to fix it. I need it now, man. I can't wait. Right. So I go figure it out. I fix everything myself.
Wow. Do you think that's the best use of your time always? Or does it make you feel fulfilled knowing that you could solve the problem?
It's definitely not the best use of my time, but I don't care.
Okay, at least we know.
You see me right now today with all the people. Like, where the garbage truck will come in and there's like a lot of recycle and they're like complain it's all over. I'll jump in a dumpster and I'll jump on a recycle just to, kind of fit it in. You'll see me, I won't ask the employee to, I'll go and do it. Because first it takes like 5 minutes to do it. And then I'm like, I don't want to ask people to do it. My motto is lead by example, first of all.
Yes.
So I'm never going to, ask people to do something I can do it myself.
Right.
So I'm always there first thing doing it myself. Even if it's not the best use of my time, I don't care.
How are you going to sell the company if you're the one fixing the machines?
I don't do it anymore. No, I don't do it anymore.
That's my man.
I mean, the reason why I moved to Boca from Chicago, because it actually runs without me.
I was going to say, everything is still there.
Everything is still there.
That's beautiful. Wow.
That's one thing I learned, not to be attached. Like I can do anything better than anyone. Of course, I can do better than anyone, but I learned to trust people. And I think there you can only grow with a great team that you can trust, even if they don't do 100%. It took me 3 years to separate myself from production, but now I'm fully out and I'm here.
It's honestly an incredible thing that many entrepreneurs, I think, only dream of getting to the point where they can detach themselves.
I detach myself, yeah,
and have it run smoothly. That's phenomenal. Growing and building the business to where it is today, it's never smooth, and there's always going to be issues, whether it's lack of capital, lack of knowledge. I know you're a part of the Founders Club now, which is great. We're happy to have you. Boca is a great community here, but early in the journey, as it goes through, we said before the podcast, we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
What do you wish you knew early in the journey that probably would have helped you tremendously, that you unfortunately had to learn the hard way, like many entrepreneurs, and just go through it?
I would say there's a lot of things, because I knew nothing. I just knew how to hustle and solve problems.
That's it.
Even the setting up my manufacturing, I did it all by myself. Station A, Station B, how it's going to move. I didn't know how to do it, but just logically, okay, it makes sense. If I'll take it from here, I have to move it as less step as possible to this side. So just figuring this out. Sorry, I forgot what's the question.
What do you wish someone was able to share with you? Because one of the biggest things of like the idea of community, being surrounded like-minded people, is that you can like ask someone who's maybe just did what you did. Like if I were to set up a manufacturing, I would just like call you, like, you want to come look at my floor plan?
Yeah, that's easy for me now.
And in 5 seconds, you would look at my floor plan and be like, no, move this over here.
And I love doing it, man. Put me in anywhere. I'm like, dude, I can save you 3 people probably here and make the process more efficient.
Exactly. 100%. And you would do that in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
You would do it with a smile on your face because it's fun, and you would save me millions of dollars sometimes. But you didn't have that.
No.
Because things like this didn't exist. What do you wish, though, you had? What is one thing you wish someone was like, no, just do this instead, or don't buy this?
I don't know, man. It's hard. I can't remember. But the biggest mistake, listening to the wrong people and advices that actually not doing what they just basically not even.
Was there like a piece of advice you took you wish you never did?
Yeah, a lot of them. Because like, oh, you should have more of this, you should do this. And then I step back, I'm like, those people don't even have businesses. Why not listen to them? So one thing I would say, it's not listen to the people you want to listen to people who already where you want to be.
Exactly.
I call it, I don't want to sound weird, but I still listen to people who is above. Yes. Basically, like if you want to be here, if you want to be like whatever, find someone who's there and listen to. That's why I listen to operators, because they're like 250, 500 million businesses. I want to be there, so I'll listen to them. I don't listen who's doing on my level a little bit better or under me, because it's like,
listen to the practitioner in the bucket that you're trying to optimize for. So if you're trying to get in better shape, listen to someone who's in great shape.
Yes.
Don't hire a fat trainer. Hire one that looks good, looks like you want to look. Don't hire a fat chef. Hire a chef that looks good, feels good, etc. It's all about seeking the practitioner 100%. That's great at what you do.
I'll say that would be the best thing that I wish I did, differently.
Is you wish you had the right people around you.
Yeah.
Every founder is the way. I always say, for whatever reason, entrepreneurship was designed to be a lonely journey.
Very lonely.
And it's the stupidest thing in the world, which is honestly the reason we created the Founders Club in the first place, is that people don't have to do that. But like up until that point, I always say, I remember my own acquisition. It's like I found my lawyer on a Google search. I literally Googled M&A lawyer for D2C transaction. And it was like, whoever bought the Google ad spot on the top was who I got, And then unfortunately, I probably would have made way more money if I had the right person to go up against, you know, a publicly traded multi-billion-dollar organization.
See, we know we want to sell. That's why we're doing things right already at this point, like all the books and everything.
You're prepared for that. When do you want to sell the business?
3-5 years.
From now?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're going to clip that. We're going to bring it back up.
100 mil.
100 mil?
Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
For sure.
Yeah.
And
until I'm there, I'm not selling. Like until I can sell for 100.
You don't want to sell until then?
No.
That's why 100? What about 100?
I don't know. That was just always like the number. If it's more, it's great. But like,
watch the offer be like 99. He's like, no.
No, of course I'll take it. I'll take 85, man.
Okay.
But, like, but it's like, you know, that's kind of the number because.
Oh my God.
And I think I'm doing everything we can to get there. And we'll get there.
You asked me a question before the podcast about the acquisition, and I forget what it was. But we said we wanted to wait.
Why did you sell?
Oh, why did I sell? That's what it was. Now that we're talking about selling, I sold for many reasons. It was a series of events. The first was I was broke. Broke.
Who have been there?
So broke that, you know, we were doing, but a year or two before we sold, we were doing about 25 million. We were doing 25 and 5. So 5 on the bottom, 25 on the top. Great margin. Things were going great. Yeah. Year before that, we were doing 10 and 2. So like business was going in the right direction. And I was still DJing on the weekends to pay my rent. We took no salary from the company. Every dollar went back into growing it. The next year we did, I think it was like 34 and 38, then eventually to 48. The whole time just super, super broke. Beans and rice, mac and cheese.
I've been there, man. Ramen noodles all day.
Yeah, like I'd go back to my mom's house just so she can cook a schnitzel. I would take the whole pie. She'd be like, "Where'd all the schnitzel go?" It's like, I need the food for the week. Like, just no money. So I really just stopped. I didn't want to live like that anymore. I hated that. The second thing is my parents worked very hard their whole life. They had no retirement fund. There's no.
You want to help them?
They stopped working, they're dead in the water. I wanted to be able to take care of my family. And I wanted to them to, you know, we always had financial insecurity our whole life. So many times we thought we had a little bit of money. We lost it all. We had to sell everything, move to a smaller house over and over and over again. Had to stop playing sports, and money was just always a problem. No vacations, no eating out, none of that. I wanted to just end that. I hated it. I hated kids that grew up with money. I hated them. Now I love them. I know it's not their fault. Yeah. But as a kid, I was envious.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to solve that. The second thing was I didn't know anybody that had made any more money than me. It was the richest guy I knew. Everyone else was 40 and 50 and couldn't understand me. Yeah. There weren't too many 23, 24, 25-year-olds managing, you know, 20, 30 employees, a 30,000 square foot warehouse, distribution in different parts of the country, multiple countries, cross-border, catalog of 70 plus blankets and sheets and mattresses and bed frames and the whole shebang and delivery and white glove. And like, I'm 23 years old. I had never graduated,
very young.
Know? So I didn't know any better. And the last part was my business partner and I were you know, he was moving to Miami. He was getting married. At the time, I was planning on staying in Toronto. So there was like a separation happening. And our goal from day one, the day we started the business, was to sell it. And we wanted to sell it. And our goal was for 48 million in 48 months. And we said that on the very first day we started the business. And we also knew who would buy the business. And to the point where I would set up billboards around the CEO's house. So I knew where he lived and I knew where his office was. And I bought all the billboards on the way to and from work for him.
That's smart.
For a year. And then I knew what his favorite sports team was, which is the Montreal Canadiens. He was in Montreal, and I sponsored the sports team. And I would send it to him on LinkedIn. I followed all the board members on LinkedIn. It was an all-out pursuit to get into their head, eventually start the conversation. And then it took about a year. But we were just so clear. Like the second I asked you what the end goal was, you said, I want to sell. The first thing that came into my mind is like, okay, he's going to sell.
Yeah.
Because you're so clear. I always say the most dangerous founder is the one that's just like, oh, maybe we'll sell. Maybe I keep it. Maybe I keep half. You know, maybe if it's a really good offer, I'll take it. It's like, well, if you don't know what you want, then the universe doesn't know what to give you.
Yes, you have to have a specific goal.
But you're very clear in what you want and how you want it to unfold. And I have, you know, I would buy the stock early if I can, because I know like with a clear direction, you always.
I'm not even concerned who I'm going to sell it to. If the numbers are right and they're aligned, which I know exactly where they're supposed to be,
yeah,
you'll find who to sell it to.
Yes.
private investors, bigger
But
companies.
do you care if like in a world where someone give you 100 million
Mhm.
and the next day they fold the company,
I don't care.
you don't care?
No. I detach myself.
That's it.
I never called it as my baby, you know, like it's just like I enjoyed the process. It turned out to be making pillows and people love it. Cool.
That's amazing. I would bet that you would be sad.
I don't think it will happen. That's why I don't think about it. I don't think about things that, you know,
Yeah.
maybe. That's the overthinking part, which I don't do.
You're in the now.
Yeah, I'm in it now 100%.
Wow.
People ask me about things next week, and I'm like, I don't fucking know, man. I don't think that far.
Well, you're just such a practitioner. You know, I would bet that you're still doing things yourself. Did you?
I do the marketing mostly now, which I enjoy
Mhm.
because I like the fact that understanding human psychology, it's like if you can understand people, you can sell them. If you can understand their behavior and actions and stuff like that, you can sell them anything, right? So with all the knowledge that I have now, I would sell completely different products. For example, right? Because I already understand so much.
Tell me the product in your head. I know there's one in your head.
No, I don't want to say it.
Come on, he's got to say it.
No, there is a.
Someone's gonna start it. Okay, give me a second.
It's not about that. I just don't want to throw ideas. I can't expand on them. It's a lot of things. I have a whole list of things that I want to do.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
He doesn't want to share the products. Okay. I want to get into a little bit about, you know, now you're remote, right? You went from being in the office essentially every single day to now living in Boca. Team is out. Back
I just
in
moved 2 days
Chicago.
ago, man.
Congratulations.
Haven't settled yet. Thanks.
Now that you're here and it's going to take a little bit of time, what have you done in terms of a structure, in terms of weekly meetings and teams where you feel confident enough to be, you know, a 3-4 hour flight away?
The way I operate, I don't have scheduled meetings. It's 24/7. I Slack people, you know, early morning, late night. Whenever I have an idea, I'll Slack them.
Wow.
So I don't have structured meetings. That's one thing about myself. I'm super aware. I'm not too structured. That's why I can be managing people because, you know, I'm all over. I'm more a creative person. But I have my CEO that I hired. He's been helping me since I started. He was a CFO in a company. He worked there for 11 years. And I was always trying to bring him to work for me. And then, I don't know, 5 years later, it worked out.
Wow.
I trust him a lot, and he's running the company. He's doing all the meetings. I'm doing meetings every day, but they're non-scheduled. I'm just calling people. I'm not even telling I'm going to call. I'm just like, you know, calling people and discussing stuff. But I mostly do marketing, as I said. Ads, emails, all that stuff. I enjoy it. I like it now. I do it now. I definitely have a team who's taking over and I'm stepping slowly back. But I found myself being way more productive working from home. So when I stay home in Chicago, I'll get more stuff done because I'm more creative and I need my time and focus, right? I go to factory and there's a lot of people, there's distractions. So I'm not productive, but I'm busy there. I didn't like it. And I always said I'm way more productive being home. And people are like, no, you're going to leave, you know, you're not going to get things done. I'm like, you just guys don't know me. I'm going to get more things done. And that's why I was excited about the move because now I'm fully separated from production. I don't have it. I have my computer and that's it.
Are you comfortable sharing what the company will do in revenue this year?
This year, 16 mil.
16 mil.
Yeah, we're slowly growing.
That's amazing.
I feel like we still baby steps.
What, when you say 3 to 5 years, you want to sell for 100 million, what, in your head, what does the revenue need to be?
50.
50. Amazing.
Yeah, we'll get in there.
I think you can do it faster.
Yeah.
He's like, production will break.
Well, yeah, production does break, man. It does break.
That's the problem sometimes, the production, right? It's like, it's hard to predict future revenue. It's hard to predict the trends. It's hard to predict, like, you have an ad that just skyrockets and it's like, sorry, guys.
This July, we surpassed last year Christmas. This July.
Unbelievable.
So Christmas, we prepare, we hire team, people, all that stuff. You know, we know the volume is coming. So made in July hits. August and July, both months we surpass the numbers each month, and we get that volume, and we're not ready.
He doesn't. We're not ready with a smile on your face.
But we figured it out. I mean, listen, I love it. I enjoy it. You know, I
Yeah.
enjoy the sometimes this like challenges.
You know, I'll say I've obviously spoken to so many entrepreneurs, over 800 in the club now, and there's so many different types of entrepreneurs, and it's so refreshing to speak to someone that just loves the game. Like
You have to.
love it. You love the game so much, and it's so nice to see because it really is hard. Entrepreneurship is hard.
You just have to be super strong mentally.
Mm-hmm.
You sometimes, hey, we got hacked, 50K, we lost. You know, like we send the wire to the wrong company because email got hacked and they changed, whatever. Okay. Yeah, 50K, what you can do? It happened. What does it matter? You know, let's figure out how making sure it doesn't happen anymore. Not why it happened, whose fault and all this stuff. Don't care. I obviously understand how exactly it happened and whose fault it was, whatever, right? But it's not the focus. It's solving the problem. Not focusing on the problem ever.
Solutions oriented.
Solutions.
Wow. There's a question I always love to ask at the end of every podcast. And the question goes like this. And it's awesome because you've got your son listening, which I think is the coolest thing ever. If we were able to bring a younger version of yourself, you can choose what age. You know, some people say, oh, I bring 6-year-old Oleg, 8-year-old. So when you start, just say the age that you're bringing. If you're able to bring a younger Oleg here to sit at the front of the table, then you were able to share one message about the future with them, one lesson you'd want to share with the younger version of yourself.
Like an advice?
Yeah, one piece of advice that you would give to yourself, your younger version of yourself, to the Oleg sitting here. How old is the Oleg sitting here, and what's the one piece of advice you would share with him?
30 years old, I would say.
Wow.
I'm 41 now, 11 years ago. But focus on the mental and physical health, the most important. I learned it in the last 3 years when I really start focusing on my mental and physical, which is physical. If you focus on the physical, your mental aligns. I would say it's the most important. Because if you're mentally and physically in the right place, you're happy, you can do anything. If you're not, you won't be able to.
When you were 30, do you feel like you neglected that side 100%. Of your life?
I'm 41, man. I feel like I'm 30 now.
Let's go.
Like physically, mentally, I'm like...
Wait till you get sun, like 12 months of the year. You're gonna, like when you get the sun on your face every day in Boca, like the energy is unbelievable.
Yeah, I love it for sure. But that was the big thing that, you know, you have to be happy with yourself, first of all. No matter what you do on your own, we can see it. What you eat, how you look like, how much you sleep, how you look like, right? How you talk is what you consume. So you have to focus on those things. What you consume as far as like knowledge, food, exercise, what you do. It's very, very important. I think it's the most important thing to focus on in order to succeed. Because if you wake up and you're like fat or unhealthy, you're not happy. You want to be better, but you're lazy. So how are you going to run a business? Right? You can't. So that's always got to be the priority, in my opinion. And I wish I knew it earlier.
It's so true. I mean, we have these 3 pillars for the club, and it was designed on the idea of what a successful modern day entrepreneur is. So I have this joke.
Alcohol.
Right. I have this joke that like we've all been to conferences, millions. I remember I used to go 18, 19 years old. I go to all the conferences, Vegas, whatever. And the coolest guy in the room, okay, at like the dinners or whatever, was always wearing a suit. And it was usually the richest guy. Everyone knew, like, oh, that guy's the rich guy, whatever. And he would get like belligerently drunk, be disgusting to the waiters. We all can picture this guy.
Yeah.
But everyone thought that was like, that's
Not
my
anymore.
dream, to be that guy.
Yeah.
Today, no chance. A successful entrepreneur today, at least by our definition,
100%.
is one that's at least trying to be full in all buckets of their life, which means have a successful business. Yes. Have a great partnership, marriage, show up as a brother, sister, mother, father, whatever, fully be there, have integrity, do what you say you're going to do, be honest. And most importantly, prioritize their health and wellness.
Yes.
And back in the day, it's like, I can be super successful and none of this other stuff mattered. Nowadays, if you're super successful and everything else is falling apart, to us, that's not a successful
No,
founder.
not at all. For me, it's easy. I got my values here: health, wealth, family, process, progress, results. I have my values on my body. So it always
Is it
reminds
tattooed?
me. Yes, health, wealth, family. You have to all have 3 of them.
Mind, body, business, baby.
Right.
That's sick.
If you're wealthy, not healthy, not gonna. Success is
Yes.
how you feel. It's not the money. People don't understand it. They think it's money. It's how you feel, how you waking up, your energy. Energy is everything, first of all, right? Your energy determines your day and everything else. And it starts from like how you feel. And you have to have a loving family around you, be healthy, and be financially, free, I would say.
Wow.
It's the combo you have to have. Yeah.
With yourself.
With yourself.
And that's why you need to surround yourself with like-minded people. Because if your friends are in shape and they care about themselves and they're taking care of their business and they're trying to grow, but they're also there for their children, their wives, their family, their brothers, their sisters, etc. And you look at them and you're like, I don't know how you do it all, but I know that you're trying and I want to do the same.
Yeah.
The statistical likelihood that if we spend any amount of time with them over the course of the year, that we adopt some of the things that we're lacking and vice versa, rounded to the nearest number,
yes,
is 100%.
Yeah, for sure. Again, the same values here. I know if you don't share those values, one of them, all 3 of them, like,
see you later.
Like I barely go anywhere. I barely see people. I barely engage with people. Like I like the founders community because it's founders. Only founder can understand the founder, in my opinion. First of all, let's start there. If you're not a founder, you might think you know. You're not gonna know.
It's so true.
So like that's why founders, because there's plenty of communities, but that's what got me is the founders. It's a different game. That's where you feel they surrounded with the right people.
Well, dude, we're so happy to have you. We're so happy to.
Thank you.
Chicago chapter lost a very good one.
Yeah,
they did. But now you're in Boca.
I'm not gonna miss Chicago.
Welcome to Miami.
Thank you.
I want to say, before we let you share where people can find you and all that stuff and find the brand, I want to say that it's so amazing to see what you've been able to build over a long period of time. And it's so refreshing to just have this conversation with a true practitioner. I love that you brought your kid here to like witness this. I think it's so special. And I have no doubt in my mind that you'll achieve the outcome that you want because you just love the process too much to quit.
For sure. Quitting is not an option, man.
Quickly tell people, how do we find you? How do people go and buy their
you can find me. You can find me that pillow guy on any social media.
Yes.
Just that pillow guy. My website is allaboutvibe.com. It's allaboutvibe.com.
Allaboutvibe.com.
Yeah. You can go there, upload any picture, and we turn to a pillow. If you're looking pillows for your brand, also we can do it.
Wow. Guys, Oleg Lee on the Founder to Founder podcast.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Founder to Founder podcast. And I have one favor, just one favor to ask. It's the only favor I'll ever ask from you. And if you liked what you listened to please like, subscribe, and please just leave a comment. Let us know what you think, how we can make it better. We are all in on delivering value to you. And all we ask in return is that you hit that subscribe. It goes a long way for what we're trying to build here. And as always, we post an episode every single Wednesday. So stay tuned and thank you for tuning in.